Alrighty, good morning. This is your professor. So I'm glad to see everybody. So one of the things we'll kind of go through is kind of the alterations of the syllabus, the alterations of what you're going to also be expecting as time continues due to the current state of what is happening right now in the world. And I want to encourage you all. One of the big things is I want to keep your mental health positive. And as you're going forward, I want to make sure that you are being met in terms of your educational experience. But in addition to that, if you notice, a lot of the exercises within your online course is primarily from your initial motivation in terms of keeping up to date on things. And I leave that up to you. The reason why is I feel that you, as a learner or an adult, in addition to that, I feel that one, you have the syllabus in front of you, and that's primarily what I always rely on is the syllabus. And I try not to deviate too far from the syllabus because one, initially that is an initial agreement between you and me. But one of the big things is, and again, there are some modifications that happens due to various circumstances and everything else. But from here on out, so the midterm, one of the things some students were asking about the midterm and everything else, if there are some modifications again, one of the big things is reaching out to me, and I will try to accommodate to the best of my ability. Also bear in mind that I am teaching 159 students, so within that, if, say for example, I do not get back to you immediately, do not feel like, hey, he's not listening to me and everything else. But one of the big things, I try to respond as quickly as possible to a lot of different emails. But within that, don't expect an email immediately. Don't expect an email because one of the big things is I will not drop everything that I'm doing to try to make sure that you are, because one of the things is I'm also trying to make sure that other students are also being met in a timely manner. But again, I usually give about 24-hour to 48-hour, how would you call it, feedback rate. And if I do not respond to you, send me another email. Sometimes the emails get lost and everything else. But within that, I try to make sure that I reach out to you as soon as possible. And some of you guys probably got your grades. And again, one of the big things I'm always looking at is all the different options. So again, you also have the options. You have two options. You have an extra credit option, which is extra credit option 1, which is 10 points. Actually, no. Which is extra credit 2, so 10 points. Again, that's where I leave it up to you if you want to reach out for extra credit. It is available. So again, the extra credit is, and that's one of the things is I leave it up to you to reach out to me. And I will post that as well, the extra credit assignment. Again, it's only worth 10 points for the first portion. And I think right now, because of the unique state of where we're at right now, I will possibly just put those 2 extra credit points up. So one is worth 10 points, the other one is worth another 10 points. And I will post those as time progresses, just so that your overall, you're able to bring your grade up. I know some students are worried about their grades and everything else. Again, if you reach out to me and if you're, hey, if you're seeing what I see, I think that's one of the biggest things that I always tell students. Whatever you see on your blackboard is exactly what I see. And I leave it up to you in terms of the learner to keep up to date in those given grading aspects and calculating the grades. So whatever I calculate is exactly what you're seeing overall. I try to remain as transparent as possible. But I'm moving forward. So what you're going to do is you're going to go into your essentials. Your essentials on your blackboard, you're going to go and click onto the little tabs on the side. You're going to go into essentials. So within essentials, you're going to find at the bottom, it says COVID-19 modification syllabus. So you're going to click on that. I couldn't think of an original title. I'm sorry. So one of the big things that we're looking at is the changes. So evaluation and assessment. So if you scroll all the way down, and again, those are primarily the only changes I did make. But moving forward, if you notice, the syllabus kind of indicates that. So if you scroll down up to, let's see, late assignments. So late assignments are based on the varying aspect. Discussion assignment will be marked 0 if submitted late. And I've been giving almost every student the initial leeway. But again, If it is 0, again, I still leave that up to you. You have the syllabus, you have it all laid out in front of you. The quizzes, you have the chance to initial submit the quizzes and everything else. Topic of research. So again, you also have the topic of research that's coming up, which is a summary paper. In addition to that, you have the psychology library paper, which is the main portion of what you're looking at. That's primarily what I'm looking at in terms of your grading aspect. So as we're going forward, you also had your midterms. So again, you have the first midterm, then you also have the final. So that's one of the things that we're always looking at. So again, they're non-cumulative. So in other words, you're only being assessed from chapters 1 through 7 for the midterm, and then from here on out, it would be the final. If you notice as well within this new modified syllabus, and also the due date for the paper is until March 29th. So you have until this coming Sunday to submit your paper. And some students are saying, I didn't have enough time. I believe there was enough time. Again, it's only 5 pages. Bear in mind that the title page and also the reference page are not part of that 5-page paper. Those are the outliers. So in terms of, you have, say for example, and I'll just illustrate that. So you have the title page, and then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of your paper, and then you have the initial reference paper. So altogether, it should come out to 7 pages altogether. If you're compiling it all together. If you have any questions, now should have been the time to reach out, because right now we're moving forward. And if you go up, so the quizzes, the next one will be due until April 5th. And then the next one will be due until April 19th, and then May 3rd. And then you have a final exam. And the final exam is still, again, some students are panicking and everything else in terms of where we're going. Again, you're seeing what exactly we're seeing. You're experiencing the same frustrations that we're seeing. Because one of the big things is we're still trying to figure out, we never thought, and this is my honest opinion, we never thought it would get to this point in terms of what is happening within the state of the world. And from a forensic standpoint and also a biochemical terrorist standpoint, initially that's my background, but one of the big things I'm always looking at is we never thought it would actually get to this point. And one of the big things I'm always looking at is staying safe. But in just moving forward, again, if you're hitting different ruts, reach out to me. That's one of the big things. If you don't reach out to me, I won't know what you're going through. Because I've had some students, upset about this and this and this. If you don't reach out to me, I won't know what you're going through. And so within that, you can't blame the person. I guess that's the best way to put it is if you're upset about a given aspect and you're blaming the instructor or you're blaming an individual saying they don't know what I'm going through. Yeah, we don't. Because again, if you don't reach out, we won't know what you're going through. But if you're able to reach out, again, there are certain leeways that I'm able to give with students and everything else. So that's primarily the given changes. So now going back to your Blackboard. So go back to your Blackboard. You're going to go down to resources. So resources, you should have what's called a bulk upload. So after week 8, chapter 8 PowerPoint, you're going to have a bulk upload of PowerPoints for chapter 9 through 16. That's all there. So there's going to be no excuses. There's going to be one of those big things where you have students saying, well, I didn't see it. I didn't see that there. It's there. I can see it. Pretty sure every other student has been able to see it. Because we also have what's on our side is a student viewer. So we see what you exactly see. And right below that, you're also going to have a bulk upload for the remainder of the semester. So you're going to have development and cognitive characteristics, which is a PDF. Then you have a week 11 discussion question. So that coincides with this, with your syllabus. So week 11 is right there. Week 12 is right there. Week 13 is right there. Week 14, 15, 16. And one of the things that I'm telling students is I want you to start submitting, or I want you to start working on these. So week 11 is due March 29th. And so the reason why I'm saying this is you have everything right in front of you now. so that as you're working along, all you're going to be doing is just uploading, uploading, uploading. Whenever you have a chance, you're going to upload week 11 on March 29th or before the due date, and then you're going to have April 5th, you're going to upload that. But again, if you're also hitting rough times in terms of, and I know every student does not have internet, I know all these different aspects. So within that, if you're having a rough time, again, communication is so crucial right now. So if you're having a rough time, email me. Most individuals have a phone. Most individuals have data on their phone. So that's where you're going to prioritize that. So no more sending memes, no more sending all these different aspects. You're now going to try to prioritize your time in terms of your assignments. I know I have some students who are saying, you don't know what we're going through. I got my master's back when the internet was not that great on the reservation. So within that, if I hear excuses of this, and this, again, I know the struggle. That's the reason why I highly encourage you to reach out, not only just to me, but also to your other instructors. Because that's one of the big things is a lot of students don't reach out until the last day. I urge you not to do that. If you notice, I also have that highlighted. Don't upload bulk assignments. And bulk assignments is, say for example, it's May 3rd, and you're like, you know what, I didn't do this, and this. I'm going to upload all my assignments on the hopes that I get a good grade. One of the big things I'm going to look at is, hey, you had all this time, you never communicated with me, this, and this, and I'm going to consider all of these assignments late if you're going to upload at the end. And it's unfair to you, but it's also unfair to other students. Because one, if you bulk upload, I'm only having to worry about that one student and trying to get them graded and everything graded. Like I said, 159 students. That's a huge load of students. So within that, if I devote all this time to that one student, the rest of the other students are not going to be able to benefit. So that's one of the big things is trying to prioritize your time. And as of now, that's one of the big things you're always looking at is how can I prioritize my time better. So overall, that's primarily what I'm looking at right now. So you have the bulk uploads for that. And shortly today, I will have that assignment activity uploaded where you can drop your article or you can drop your library paper in there. So again, I would urge you to start submitting that as soon as possible so then I can start grading that through. But again, it always comes down to communication. One of the big things is I know we're all going through that tough time, and I know everybody's going through that unique time. And so that's one of the big things I'm always trying to encourage students is communicate and try to ensure that you're able to communicate in a timely manner. Because I want you guys all to succeed, believe it or not. Some students are looking at like, he's just giving you all these grades and everything else, and he's not giving us any leeway. I'm trying to set you up for working in various capacities. And so within that, that's one of the big things I'm always looking at. So as you're continuing, I want to make sure and encourage you that you're getting everything in, but also able to get the best in terms of information, in terms of the psychological information, stuff like that. So if you have any questions, please email me. I encourage you to email me. But also when you email me, make sure that you put what class and what course you're coming from. Because what happens is I'm usually away from my desk because one of the big things is we call it an 80-20. We're working 80% from our home and 20% on campus. So within that, when we come to campus and I check my emails and everything else, when I'm away from here, I'm primarily using my phone only. And so when I get an email and I don't know who's sending that email, I'm not able to quickly look it up. And so within that, I encourage you to put your course number and also what section you're coming from. And so within that, that's one of the big things I'm always trying to encourage a lot of students to do. So those are primarily the changes. So if you look at your evaluation assessment, the post change would be 460 points instead of 480. So out of class, your own change drops down to 70% or 70 points, and then the quizzes drop down to 70 points. And the paper is primarily the main thing that I'm always looking at. Again, that's due March 29th. Again, there are some changes. I didn't cross out everything. And if you notice it, some things are still there, but we're looking at what's called the post changes. So the new date is March 29th. So if you have any questions about that, please email me. I'm hoping no student is now saying, I'm barely getting started on my research paper. Because again, you've had ample enough time to get everything together. And I'm only asking for 5 pages. That's it, 5 simple pages. I'm not asking you to, how would you say it? I'm simply just asking that one, you simply offer your own original thought. So within that, that's where you're looking at all the different articles. That's where you have the article searches. Those article searches should have now been implemented into your paper. You have the topic of interest assignment, the article summaries. And again, those article summaries, what you're doing is just using the same thing you wrote there and plugging it into your initial research paper. That's how I initially have it set up. And again, Psych 111 students, it's kind of, how would you say, it's broken down a little bit better in terms of what things you're kind of setting yourself up for. But for my 240 class and my 241 and also my 340 class, they initially are just told you have a research paper at the beginning of the class, and then it's left up to them. In the hopes that by the end, they will have a paper. For you guys, it's kind of broken down in sections. You have a topic of interest, you have article summaries, and it kind of helps you to gain a better understanding of how to implement this as you're going along. But again, like I said, reach out to me if you're having issues. Now is the time because today's already the 24th. You have 1, 2, 3, 4. You have roughly about 4 days left. And the 29th will come around, and I know some students will wait till the 29th to do that. Because one of the big things is you're also looking at prioritizing your time. And so that's one of the big things I'm always looking at. So if you have any questions, reach out to me by email, and I will try to get back to you as soon as possible. So hopefully that helps. I know it doesn't answer a whole lot of questions because I know there's more questions that every student has. As time progresses, this will be uploaded through YouTube, so you will get a email and everything else. But one of the big things is that's primarily how I reach out to a lot of my students in terms of the unique format. But as time progresses, we're going to begin to implement Zoom. So if you can, download Zoom onto your phone, so then you can chime in and everything else, and we'll start setting up meetings and everything else. Other than that, yeah, that kind of covers everything for now. So stay safe. Make sure you stay hydrated. Make sure you stay healthy. If you can, get a bunch of health food items. A lot of individuals went crazy in terms of buying all the canned goods and everything else. But stay healthy out there. Stay safe. So I shall see you guys again. Have a good one.